So here we are at Bodmin and Wenford Railway, which is celebrating 30 years this year. It's mostly manned by volunteers, and I'll be meeting a lot of those today, from guards to drivers, all sorts, people working in the sheds on the steam engines. There's over 300 of them that are working here from time to time. And today it's amazing to see so many people here. It's one of Cornwall's top attractions. Often forgotten perhaps, but it shouldn't be. People should come and visit. It's an amazing place.
As a teenager, I used to travel this line all the way through from Bodmin Road, right the way through to Padstow, where my parents were living in RAF married quarters at the time. And I'd be coming down for school holidays from boarding school. So yes, it's a bit special to me.
Living the dream, really. I was always passionate about sort of steam and engineering and railways, and I was in the Royal Navy prior, which brought me to Cornwall. And then when I heard of the Bodmin and Wenford, I'd come up and ride behind the train and see how good it was here and the engines they had, and just living the dream, really, isn't it? It's really good fun.
It was initially closed by Mr. Beeching. The last passenger trains ran in 1967, but it stayed open for about another 20 years as a freight-only line for the China clay traffic. So when we took over 30 years ago, the tracks were still down, but the station, as you see it now, was pretty much derelict.
So Nick, you're the responsible officer here at Bodmin and Wenford. What does that actually mean?
I am the responsible officer for the day, which means that I am the person, I'm in charge for the day. I am the responsible person for making sure that everything runs as it should do, to time, that our travellers, visitors are happy and well taken care of. More importantly, to ensure that if problems do arise, then they're addressed expeditiously, and that these are generally of small things of the nature of, for example, where are the Easter eggs for this year's Easter egg hunt? Okay. And if they're of that level, then we can cope with them.
We have a fleet of 5 steam engines, which are mainly Great Western Railway tank engines suited to branch line work. And we also have a diesel fleet. And some of these diesels are now vintage, 55 years old in some cases.
Sort of stepping in the footsteps of guys from hundreds of years ago, and they were just wicked bits of kit and really fun, varied sort of jobs, and it's just good hard work at times, and good graft, and just really good fun, isn't it?
Yeah. So you think it's important to keep that history alive?
Yeah,
Definitely,
of course,
especially future generations and stuff like that. Like, people have kept it alive for us to witness and operate and that kind of stuff, and it's nice for us to be able to pass it on to the next generation at some point when they're ready.
Came down here, 10 years in round figures, and I became involved at a time when we were just doing the celebrations of the 175th anniversary of the opening of the original Bodmin and Wenford Railway, and now that I am fully retired, the caveat is that I don't do any more unpaid days' work in lieu of paid days' work, and spend a bit of time at home, which is no bad thing.
Is that your wife?
Well, it could be, yes.
So I've just enjoyed an evocative trip up towards the Camel Trail on a 1950s coach led by a diesel train. It was like going back in history. It's amazing. And you can also head towards Bodmin Parkway as well. There's 2 different routes through the country. In fact, it was amazing. Deer ran in front of the carriage as we were going up. It's sublime. Come and visit Bodmin and Wenford Railway.